Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. Got a big old stack of goodies here to talk to you guys about today. I also got 3 packages in the mail, which I'm going to unbubble for you guys at the end of this video here. A couple of things that came in the mail over the last, day or so. I'm going to unpackage those for you guys, so stay tuned to the end of this video, to find out what those items are. But I have, like I said, I have a handful of things here, and if you guys like my review videos, please give them a thumbs up here, drop a comment down below, letting me know how you're doing. But the first one up here I got from Scream Factory is a horror film from the 70s I haven't seen, in many years. And it's the first time revisiting this film since I saw it on VHS back in the day, and that is the Sentinel here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much about this young model that lives in New York named Allison. She's been with this guy for many years, and they're getting close to maybe getting married with one another, but yet she kind of wants her place of her own because she's been living with her fiance or guy for so long, but she wants to experience life without having him be there. So she decides to get her own apartment, and she gets this apartment in this kind of weird kind of building in a brownstone. And as soon as she gets there, she finds out there's this old priest that lives on the top floor, of this building, because it's like a house, but different parts of the house are rented out to a couple of other people. And she moves in and starts to get to know the people that are in the building, and some of them are super crazy. There's a lesbian couple in there. One of them is played by Beverly D'Angelo from the Vacation movies, and they're really into real lesbian acts and things. And there's a guy that lives downstairs that has a bunch of cats and animals and stuff, played by Burgess Meredith. And she gets in there, she starts to get used to living there, but yet the people that live in that same place are just really creeping her out, really weird. One day something really bad happens and she tells somebody about it, and she finds out that there really isn't anybody else living in that house. And it's just all the other craziness that she has to experience when she finds out about that. All the crazy stuff that she saw in that house never really happened, but it drove her crazy anyway. It's a really cool, creepy movie, man. It has one of those endings that when you watch it, it's oh my god, I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? It had a bunch of it felt like circus people, in the movie. At the end, if you ever saw the movie before, you know what I'm talking about. If some of it didn't look like it was real makeup or anything, or special effects, it felt like it was real people. I was really pleasantly surprised by it because I haven't seen it in so long, and I'm it really kind of holds up in today's standards, to be honest. And it has a lot of recognizable faces in here that you guys have seen in other movies. I believe Jeff Goldblum plays a photographer in here. This film's from 1977. You get 3 audio commentary tracks on the film by the actress, the main star of the film, Cristina Rains, producer, writers, other producers. You get interviews in here, the actual trailer, and a couple of other special features on here. But if you're a fan of the Sentinel, man, definitely upgrade to Blu-ray. This one was actually pretty well packed up with features. And the next one up from Scream Factory also is a film I've never seen before until I got it, and I really wasn't that impressed by it. And that is called The Legacy here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much about this young couple that are into fixing up people's homes, in their decor, interior decorators. And they go on this little vacation, just to get away for a while before they have to start this big job that they have to do. And they're riding along the countryside, on their motorcycle or whatever it is, until they get in this big accident in the middle of this countryside, in the middle of pretty much nowhere. And their motorcycle gets ruined, and they can't do anything because they're stuck in the middle of this road. And the person that hit them offers them to take them in for a couple of days, so until their motorcycle gets fixed. And then they stay in this big mansion in the middle of nowhere, and it's what they witness and what happens in this house, because the people that live there were waiting for them. Really kind of creepy, but at the same time, it didn't really hold my interest as long as I thought it was going to. It was really kind of slowly paced. The acting was fine, but to me, I just really couldn't get into it as much as I did, with the Sentinel, because the Sentinel was just amazing. But I'm on this Blu-ray here. You get all new high definition transfer of the film, new interviews with a special effects artist, theatrical trailer, TV spots. But if it sounds interesting to you, give it a chance. But it's definitely not as cool as the Sentinel, to be honest.
Hi, I'm back again, but not with my usual fare. My son handed me something, and I thought, what is this? And I turn it over, and I read the back, and it says, sex, bondage, and butterflies. I'm like, what in the world? And this is called The Duke of Burgundy. And what the basic story is, these two women have a, what do you want to call it? A sadomasochistic relationship. But it's not what you would think. Oh, the whips and the chains. No. It's done very, very properly. One of the women, they're all buttoned up. Seriously. And it's just that one of the women plays sort of a domineering person. The other one is the one that likes to be punished, that type of thing. But it's not at all what you think. It's almost like a Groundhog Day. They repeat this game that they play over and over again, and I'm like, what are we? Please, okay? And quite frankly, I watched it because I thought something would happen, and of course nothing. It just goes beep, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Seriously, I don't know. It was just, my days in college were better than this. I remember having a girlfriend of mine, I was over at her apartment one day or something like that, and I guess she was drunk or whatever, and she said to me, hey Liz, you want to sleep together? And I'm like, no. So that's why I thought, I was going to watch this with my eyes half shut. No, it's artsy-fartsy version of what I guess they thought was, like they say, sex, bondage, and butterflies. I wouldn't pick this up if I were you.
And next up over here from Lionsgate is like a TV miniseries or a TV show or something like that, because it has like a handful of episodes, and it's called The Return here on DVD. I believe this is like a remake of like a French show of the same name, I think. And this show is actually pretty cool. I've never seen the French one at all, and I didn't know what this was until I got it here to review. And it's pretty much about this town in the middle of nowhere. Like, what's it called? Like, Caldwell, Washington, it says, and it's like a really small town, and the small town had a lot of tragedy in its past. A lot of people have died in their small town, like in the beginning of the show, like a big bus, drove over like a cliff and things with like a whole bunch of kids in it, and a bunch of people perished, and the show deals with, how the families are, coping with, their family members and siblings passing away in this small town and not knowing what to do. But at the beginning of this show, a lot of these siblings, after like 5 or 6 years or a handful of years after they died, the people that died are coming back. And, coming back to their lives, and the families and parents and siblings are not knowing what to do, because the people that died, supposedly, that disappeared for all this time, don't know they died and don't know that they've been, gone so long. And they don't know. They think it's been like a day or something. They don't know that something tragic happened and they haven't seen their parents for years or anything like that. And it's just like the whole dynamic with people trying to deal with what's going on and trying to figure out, where was my daughter all this time? She died in this big, bus crash. How is she back 5 years later and she looks fine? And it's just like them trying to deal with all this stuff that's going on. But it's really, really, really kind of addicting. I really dug it. It's like, it's a 2-disc set, hence like, like a handful of episodes on here, 7 hours long. If it sounds interesting to you, man, definitely check it out. It kind of has like one of those Stephen King kind of vibes. When I was watching it, it felt like it could have been like a Stephen King miniseries kind of thing. I really kind of dug it very, very much. The Return here on DVD. And next up over here from Lionsgate also is a new Power Rangers DVD called Saban's Power Rangers Trick or Treat here on, Trick or Treat here on DVD. This is just like a compilation of Power Ranger episodes from Power Rangers Mega Force, Super Samurai, Mighty Morphin, and you also get an episode on here from Zeo. And, it's like, Halloween-based episodes from the Power Rangers 4 select episodes from, random seasons of the Power Rangers. And I gotta say, man, it's always a fun show to go back to revisit. And of course, the one they have on here from the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series is Zed's Monster Mash, when like the Power Rangers have to deal with like all the old crazy, monsters that they already beat in the past that are coming back to life. You know what I mean? Just to fight them one last time in a big battle. If you guys like Power Rangers, definitely check this one out for Halloween time for your kids. Really cool. Next up over here from Warner Brothers is probably one of my favorite television shows that's still on TV right now, which you guys all know I don't really watch TV as it's on, but I usually get them when it's on DVD or Blu-ray, and I absolutely love this sitcom. It's one of my favorites, and that's The Big Bang Theory, the complete 8th season here on Blu-ray. Have to get them all on Blu-ray. I have all the other ones, already. It's just a really funny show, one of those ones you sit back and veg on. And of course, season 8 picks up right where season 7 left off, when Sheldon is kind of got tired of dealing with dark matter, or he's like in working on string theory, and his theory is not really going by, and he decides just to scrap it and move on to something else, and all this other stuff is happening in Sheldon's life, and he decides to up and leave his friends and go on this train and just, get away for a while. And season 8 picks up where Sheldon's coming back into town after, riding the rails, for like 45 days, and it's him coming back into everyone's life again. And of course the hilarity ensues from there. It's just a very, very funny show. I really like the cast in here. They have really great chemistry in this show. And on this Blu-ray here, you get all the episodes from season 8, and you get the 2014 Comic-Con panel where the writers and Will Wheaton are talking about the season 8 and stuff. And I believe season 9 is going to be starting up soon on TV. You can't wait, man. But Big Bang Theory, great show. If you guys have never seen an episode of your life, definitely check it out. Great fun. And next up over here from Warner Brothers also is something from my childhood. I haven't watched some of these ones in many, many years. And this is the Peanuts Emmy Honored Collection here on DVD. This is like a 2-disc set featuring, a handful of, the Charlie Brown cartoons, or Peanuts. I used to call them the Charlie Brown cartoons. I know they're called Peanuts, but, I used to call them, hey, Mom, can we watch Snoopy? Or let's watch the new Charlie Brown thing. And, this is just like a handful of episodes, and I think 1 or 2 of them in here are, like it says here, were Emmy nominated back in the day. And of course, the one on here, the 1 or 2 of them I watched on here are just really, really throwback, man. I really, really like it. There's one on here when Charlie Brown's like practicing to be in a decathlon, like throwing a discus and jumping over things. It's really kind of a fun show to revisit after all these years, especially when last time I saw it I was like a kid, But that's the Charlie Brown Emmy collection here. And next up over here from Sony, very, very excited to talk about these next ones up here. Excited. These are just like, childhood nostalgia to me, and I absolutely love these. And the first one up is the anniversary edition of Jumanji here on Blu-ray. This is the second time the film's been released on Blu-ray. You guys all know Jumanji, about Alan Parrish, or Robin Williams' character as a kid. He finds this board game and he starts to play it and gets sucked into the game, and then years and years later, kids from a different century or whatever are playing that same game and find out that Robin Williams' character, Alan Parrish, is stuck in that game, and it's them, trying to figure out what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Because like when they play this game, rhinos come out of their closets and run rampant. Monkeys come running. All this craziness starts happening when they play this board game, and it's just a wonderful movie. To revisit after all these years. It's still kind of depressing watching a movie with Robin Williams in it, because he was like probably one of my top childhood idols that I watched when I was a kid, like Jumanji and Hook, and I always really loved him, man. And on this Blu-ray here, you get all the same special features from the previous Blu-rays and DVDs that came out of the movie, but there's like a new storyboards on here, episodes from the animated series that Jumanji had on this Blu-ray here, which is awesome. But the movie looks absolutely beautiful. It's the 20th anniversary edition. So if you guys like Jumanji, I just want to let you guys all know the 20th anniversary edition is out on Blu-ray. And the next one up over here is the anniversary edition of the movie that's kind of the same thing as Jumanji, called Zathura here on Blu-ray. This one was directed by Jon Favreau, one of my favorite directors of all time, who directed like Swingers and Maid. Absolutely love those movies. But this movie is pretty much the same thing as Jumanji, but in space. You know what I mean? About these two brothers that don't really get along with each other until one of them, they move into this new house with their father that's going through a divorce or whatever, and they move into this house and they go into the basement of this house when their father's out working or whatever. And one of the young kids finds this old board game called Zathura. He starts playing it, and as soon as he does, the house gets shot up into space, and all this weird space stuff starts happening. Space aliens, spaceships, all this craziness is happening, and they're trying to figure out how the hell they're going to get back home. You know what I mean? It's pretty much, like I said, Jumanji, but in space. You know what I mean? This is the 10th anniversary edition of Zathura. This one's also been released on Blu-ray before, but this is the anniversary edition that has new storyboards and the cast of the new Goosebumps movie, talking about their thoughts and their feelings about the films of Thura, and also plugging the new movie Goosebumps that's coming out. But this movie looks absolutely beautiful on Blu-ray, and this next film right here I absolutely adore. I haven't seen it in so many years, and it looks beautiful on Blu-ray, man. Straight from my childhood. Anniversary edition of Indian in the Cupboard, man. How many of you guys out there know what this movie is? Like, let me know in the comments, because this movie just brings back so much childhood nostalgia to me. It's just not even funny. It's pretty much about this, young kid on his 9th birthday. I think his name is like Omar or something like that. I forgot his name now, because I watched so many movies recently, and he gets his cupboard on his birthday, and his friend also gives him like this cool little Indian toy as a gift and things, and he decides to put that toy inside this cupboard, lock it up, and then one day he opens up this cupboard again to get the toy out, and he finds out that this Indian toy is alive. And he finds out this cupboard can do magical things. Anything he puts into it, like a toy or whatever, it'll come to life. And it's just a magical adventure that this kid and his friend, go on when they find out what this cupboard can do. It's just an absolutely fun movie from my childhood. I absolutely love revisiting it. And I can't believe it's been 20 years since this movie, hit theaters, man. It just came out in 1995, the same year as Jumanji. And on this Blu-ray here, you get audio commentary track by the director Frank Oz, who's also the director of this, is also the voice of Yoda in the Star Wars movies, if you guys didn't know that. Just an absolutely wonderful film. I can't wait until they put out movies like The Secret Garden and Little Princess out on Blu-ray. Like, I know I'm 33 years old. Like, why do I want to see those on Blu-ray? I don't know, man. Those are just highly nostalgic to me, and I absolutely love movies from my childhood, man. And guys, next up from Sony over here is the complete second season of The Goldbergs here on DVD. I know I talked about this in the previous video. I just absolutely love this show, and I just want to get it across to you guys. If you've never seen it before, definitely go pick it up, man. It's about this crazy, eccentric, family that lives in the 80s. They're kind of like all over the place. Like, one of the younger kid likes videotaping, everything that happens in his house, because he just has this video camera and he's just obsessed with it. The show takes place in the 80s, and it just follows this family and their adventures that they go on. You know what I mean? Like, there's different episodes that are like dedicated to different 80s awesomeness. Like, in the first season, they had an episode dedicated to one of my favorite movies of all time, The Goonies. And in here, they have an episode dedicated to Back to the Future, and when the young kid of the house is like, faking that he made a real hoverboard, and lying to kids at school that he really got a real hoverboard at home and it's really working and things, and he's trying to con kids at school that he really did do it. And there's also an episode in season 2 here where they focus on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You know what I mean? Like, one of John Hughes's best movies next to The Breakfast Club. And it's just awesome how they have a show like this that just deals with the era that is just completely awesome to me. I know I love the 90s and I love the 80s, but 80s and 90s were like my time for movies when I was like watching stuff, and it was just, everything was awesome to me, from the clothes to the hairstyle to the makeup. It's just an amazing time. And if you guys like the 80s, definitely check out this show. Very, very super hilarious. It's one of those ones you turn your mind off and just veg out and just have a good old time with, Alright guys, and next up from Twilight Time, also known as ScreenArchives.com. The first one up here is Summer Lovers here on Blu-ray. This one's directed by Randall Kelschler. I believe he's the same guy that directed the movie Grease, and the movie he directed before this is The Blue Lagoon. And this movie's about this young couple going to the Greek islands on vacation just to rekindle their relationship after all these years. I think they were like thinking about getting married to one another and all that kind of stuff, but they want to get away just for a little while, just to get to know each other a little bit more, and just to experience something amazing. And when they get to this Greek island, the man of the relationship, played by Peter Gallagher, gets infatuated with this lady that lives on this island, and kind of has an affair, on his wife with this young lady, and it's them trying to deal with that situation, and how the three people kind of come together and become sort of friends, and just a little relationship that they have in this thing, and on the beautiful Greek islands. That's pretty much all you can really say about this movie. It's really kind of simple, but you're pretty much watching this movie just for the beautiful scenery, the nice acting, and the nice mellowness. I really know how to explain it. I really liked it. It's not that fastly paced or anything like that, but it was just really kind of mellow and really beautiful to look at, and I really did enjoy this film. On this Blu-ray here, you get an audio commentary track by the director, a making-of featurette, and the theatrical trailers. I definitely give this one a chance. And this next one up over here is from Screen Archives 2, and this is a Woody Allen film I've never seen until I got this Blu-ray, and I'm a big fan of Woody Allen, like Manhattan and stuff like that is one of my favorite ones he's done. And this is one of those ones I've never seen before, and that's called A Midsummer's Night Sex Comedy here on Blu-ray. And this movie is really simple also. It's just about this one couple that's about to get married, and they're going to this one little house in the middle of nowhere pretty much, and just to like celebrate celebrate with their friends before they get married, these two other couples that are also going to this house, and just what happens when these friends and couples are getting together, and how when they all get together, they all kind of have love affairs with each other's wives and different crazy things going on. And in this movie, what's it called? Woody Allen, he plays like an eccentric inventor who's like inventing crazy things like flying operating machines, because this movie takes place, I believe, in like the 1900s or something like that, from the way they were dressing and things like that. It's not like a modern day thing, but it kind of felt like it because the way Woody Allen is, when he talks in movies. I always like his witty banter and just the way he talks. You know what I mean? Like that's what I really like about Woody Allen and his work. But this is like a lot different than the normal Woody Allen movie that I'm used to seeing. You know what I mean? It just kind of has a weird little vibe to it that I'm not really used to. I can't say it's my favorite, of the Woody Allen films, but it's definitely not the worst, I don't think. It looks absolutely beautiful. So if you guys are into Woody Allen flicks, definitely check out ScreenArchives.com and pick yourself up a copy of that one. And these next two films up over here, I got sent a review from Arrow Video US, and I didn't really know what I was getting into getting these ones. I thought one of them was going to be like a weird horror movie, and the other one I really wasn't sure, but it's from the same director, and forgive me if I say his name wrong, like Walerian Bosakowski, and these are his two films, I believe, that came out in the early to mid 70s. And the first one is called The Beast here on Blu-ray, and the other one I got is from him too, and it's called Immoral Tales. There's just two films of this guy's collection that are coming out from Arrow, releasing right now, and they're both really kind of strange. The Beast is they're both French movies. You have to read English subtitles and things, but The Beast is pretty much about this eccentric guy that is he was a part of a really rich family, and he's really struggling to keep the family afloat, not really having a lot of money. So he decides to marry off his son to this really rich American heiress, and but yet his son has a weird deformity. He's kind of strange. He's kind of not all upstairs, and it's just the weirdness that happens between his new wife that he's being forced to marry, and what happens along the way. That's all I can really say, guys. I really had a hard time getting through this movie just because of the subtitles and the subject matter that was going on in here, because this movie opens up with a big giant horse penis and a big throbbing horse vagina, and a guy going like this. You know what I mean? And then watching two horses go at it. It's a lot of weird, sexual stuff going on in this film. Actually, both of these films that really kind of threw me off. This guy was really into sexploitation and horror, trying to mix those two in together. But to me, it really wasn't working. But the movie looked beautiful on Blu-ray. And the other film from the same director, Immoral Tales, is pretty much like a anthology film, a sexual anthology film that takes it has 4 different stories, and the first story takes place in modern day, and each story that comes on after it goes back further and further in time, and it deals with different lesbians, and it deals with bloodshed, lesbianism, and incest. You know what I mean? I was really having a hard time watching this because I'm not really into sexploitation kind of movies, and I didn't really know what I was getting into with this. And I know a lot of you guys out there might dig might dig these ones, but I really had a hard time sitting through some of the subject matter that was in here. Nudity I'm fine with in movies, but I don't know, this stuff was really kind of cringy to me is what I would say. And next up over here from HBO Films, it's a new film starring David Oyelowo, who you guys all know, who played Martin Luther King in the movie Selma, and this is his new film called Nightingale here on Blu-ray. In this film, he plays this war veteran who did something very bad after he came back from the war, and he's kind of out of his mind, kind of going through like shell shock and everything like that. He's kind of crazy, because the movie just follows this one guy, David Oyelowo's character, in his house pretty much the whole movie, trying to figure out what he's going to do next after what he did at the beginning of this movie, which I can't explain because I don't want to ruin it for you if you guys have never seen the movie, if you've never seen it. I thought it was wonderfully acted, really nicely told and nicely paced for a film like this, because if it's just one actor in a movie, he has to be really strong and the story really has to be there. And I gotta say, this one really did a really decent job with it. But David Oyelowo really knocked it out of the park in this film. I thought it was absolutely an amazing portrait of a guy just going out of his mind. You have to watch it to see what I'm trying to say, guys. It's really kind of hard to review it without ruining things for you. But there's just no, when you get into this one, it's just one guy by himself, the whole movie in his house. And next up over here is from Alchemy. It's called Unexpected here on Blu-ray. It's about this young teacher that teaches inner city kids in the in the ghetto or whatever. Kind of like Dangerous Minds in a way, a little bit. But yet she finds out that she's pregnant unexpectedly, and then she also finds out that her job that she has as being a teacher is not going to be there anymore, because it's gonna, she's gonna get fired and the school's not going to be there anymore. Something's going on, and it's her just trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life next, with her husband that she has, and then still trying to finish out the school year, and finding out that one of her kids in her class, a young girl, is pregnant also, and it's them striking up a relationship with one another, and trying to face the problems of motherhood together. That's pretty much the synopsis on this one. I thought it was a decent watch, but nothing super amazing, nothing very memorable at all. But that's all I can really say about this one. It's just kind of like one of those ones you would rent at a Redbox and then probably forget like 2 minutes after you watch it. You know what I mean? And next up over here from Anchor Bay is a film called Apartment Trouble here on DVD. But it's pretty much about these two young girls, young women or whatever, that live in New York, that are best friends. They've been renting this apartment together for many years, but they're really behind on their rent. They don't know what they're going to do to pay their rent because they owe all this back rent, and they're having all these problems, and they're about to get evicted. And it's pretty much them trying to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to, keep a roof over their heads. So it's them just, going out trying to figure out how they're going to get money, maybe going to their family to ask for money and things. And that's pretty much the synopsis on this one. I thought it was kind of a light, kind of funny comedy, dark comedy one. The two main actresses of the movie had nice chemistry with one another, but it's also one of those ones that's really kind of forgettable after you watch it. It's nice when you're watching it, but it's not one of those ones that you're going to remember or want to recommend, to anybody else. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it's there, and it's like a piece of fluff, but that's it's called Apartment Troubles here on DVD. And last up on my update today, before I show you guys what I got in the mail, is from Wild Eye Releasing, and it's called Killing Brooke here on DVD. Pretty much about this lesbian couple that's at the beginning of this movie is getting married to one another, and on their the night of their wedding, the night after they got married, they're going to this club to party, to have fun, and they meet this one guy at this club or whatever, and they have this sexual relation, they have this sexual night with him, and they say, we made a mistake, we really shouldn't have done that, and kind of like make the guy go away, and but come to find out the guy's kind of crazy and out of his mind, and kills one of the girls, and Brooke is the one that's alive and is trying to get away, from this crazy killer in the middle of these woods, and of course comes across these crazy people that live in this woods, thinking that she's gonna get helped by them, and it kind of turns into like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of movie, with this girl being tortured by this crazy family in the middle of the woods. I thought it was pretty decent for what it was. It's like a shot-on-video kind of horror movie. But if you guys like straight-to-DVD slasher flicks, give this one a chance. It wasn't that bad, especially if you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Alright guys, that's all I have to talk to you guys about today for my Blu-ray DVD update right now. So guys, let's open up these packages here and find out what I got in the mail, baby. I got 3 packages here. One of them has been here for like a day or two. I kind of like already sliced the top of it off already, so I can get to it quicker. Was it this one? Oh no, it was this one. I kind of sliced it off because it looked like it was gonna be kind of hard to get to. But I picked this one up off eBay, eBay, because it was like $7.99, and it's season 1, How to Make It in America here on Blu-ray. I heard it was a pretty good show. It has like Louis Guzman in it, and the guy that played Finch from American Pie. It looks like it could be a really decent show. It's always one of those ones that's always kind of expensive, like at Best Buy, like, you know, $30 or more kind of thing. When I saw it for $7 or whatever it was online with like free shipping, I just had to jump on it. I just wanted to, you know, give this one a shot. I know season 2's out, but I wanted to check that one out. And this other one up right here, I believe this is an eBay or Amazon purchase. Usually, I don't, when I get stuff, I don't, if it's more than $10, I don't really jump on it, to be honest. Let's see what's in here. Oh, cool. Okay. This is definitely from eBay. It was one of those ones. I think it was like I'll look at my thing. It was like $3 or $4, and it's called Web Therapy, the complete first season here on DVD. This is the series that stars Lisa Kudrow and stuff. I've never seen it before, but I always liked Lisa Kudrow from Friends and what's it called, The Comeback, that was on HBO. But it looks like a fun little show. I've never seen it before, so it could be kind of decent, to be honest. I don't know, Lisa Kudrow is always cool, from like Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. But guys, we got the last package here. This one's definitely from Amazon, because a couple of weeks ago they had a sale on Kino titles on there, and I had to, you know, pick up one of them. But the one I picked up was Life Stinks here on Blu-ray. I just had to get this one, man. Like, this is one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies of all time. Absolutely love it. It's about like a really rich guy that has to go and live the poor life, you know, for a certain amount of time, kind of thing. And I always loved it, man. It's one of my favorite ones. I remember watching it with my dad, and it was like $10.99, $11.99. I think it still might be that same price on Amazon. And the last thing I picked up in here, I think it was like $5 on Amazon, something like that, brand new. And it's called 21 Years, Richard Linklater. I believe this is like a documentary on Richard Linklater's filmography, or maybe I didn't really read up on it that much. I just picked it up to Richard Linklater. I think it's either a documentary about his film, all of his films that he's done, or maybe the movie Boyhood that he filmed a year or so ago. I haven't seen it. It's like, 79 minutes long. It looks like it'd be something that would be right up my alley. But guys, that's all I really, picked up, offline over the last, couple weeks or whatever, just for the hell of it. But that's all I have to show and talk to you guys about today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys like my videos. Also, share it around on Facebook and Twitter if you guys support me at all. And I'll see you guys all for my next video.